The sea was calm, the stars a million pinpricks in the night sky. A stillness hung in the air, broken only by the gentle hum of the ship's engines. Deep within the belly of this great vessel, men shoveled coal into roaring furnaces. They were keeping the Titanic, the largest ship ever built, sailing at full speed towards the New World. On the upper decks, oblivious to the danger lurking beneath the waves, passengers dreamt of new beginnings. They danced, they dined, they toasted to their good fortune. Then it happened. A shudder ran through the ship, a grinding of metal against ice. It was a sound that would echo through history. The seemingly unsinkable Titanic, a marvel of engineering, had met its match in the unforgiving chill of the North Atlantic. Panic ensued as the realization of the disaster set in. Lifeboats were lowered, but they were not enough for everyone. Distress flares lit up the night sky, a desperate call for help. Hours later, the Carpathia arrived, rescuing the survivors from the icy waters. Survivors, wrapped in blankets, shivered from the cold and the shock of the night's events. The Titanic was born in the shipyards of Belfast, Ireland. Thousands of men toiled for years to build this behemoth. They hammered rivets, they hoisted steel beams. Slowly, she took shape. The Titanic was more than just a ship. She was a symbol of human ambition, a testament to our desire to conquer the seas. At the time, she was the largest moving object ever created. People flocked to see her launch, their faces filled with awe. The Titanic represented the pinnacle of luxury. She boasted grand staircases, opulent dining saloons, and even a swimming pool. For the wealthy elite, she offered a taste of unparalleled extravagance. Little did anyone know this magnificent vessel was sailing towards a tragic destiny. The construction of the Titanic was a marvel of engineering, featuring state-of-the-art technology and unprecedented scale. Her engine room housed the largest and most powerful steam engines ever built, driving her forward with immense power. As she set off on her maiden voyage, the world watched in anticipation, unaware of the fate that awaited. On April 10th, 1912, the Titanic embarked on her maiden voyage from Southampton, England. Her destination, New York City. On board were over 2,200 souls, each with their own hopes and dreams. There were wealthy industrialists seeking new opportunities. There were immigrants crammed into steerage, yearning for a better life in America. The atmosphere on board was electric. Excitement filled the air as the ship pulled away from the dock. Families crowded the rails, waving goodbye to loved ones on shore. The Titanic steamed out of port and into the open ocean. It was a journey that would change the world forever. Dreams of a new world filled the hearts of many on board. They envisioned a future full of promise and endless possibilities. Under the vast night sky, their dreams soared as high as the stars. Life on board the Titanic was a study in contrasts. For first-class passengers, it was a world of opulence. They dined on gourmet meals prepared by top chefs. They sipped champagne in elegant lounges adorned with fine art. They played cards, enjoyed live music, and socialized in lavish settings. They had access to a swimming pool, a gymnasium, and even a squash court. Down below, in steerage, conditions were much more basic. Families shared cramped quarters. Food was simple, but plentiful, and the sense of community was strong. Yet even here, there was a sense of hope and dreams of a better future. The vastness of the ocean, the immensity of the ship, it filled everyone with a sense of wonder. It felt as if nothing could harm them within the steel embrace of the Titanic. The grand staircase was a marvel, a symbol of the luxury that defined the Titanic. Section 5. A fateful encounter, the iceberg. For days, the Titanic sailed smoothly across the Atlantic. The weather was calm, the seas were relatively tranquil. Then, on the night of April 14th, the mood changed. The air grew bitterly cold. Wireless operators received warnings of ice from other ships in the area, but these warnings were either overlooked or ignored. The Titanic maintained her speed. Shortly before midnight, lookouts in the crow's nest spotted it. A massive iceberg looming out of the darkness, directly in the Titanic's path. The alarm was raised. Orders were given to change course, but it was too late. The Titanic, too large to turn in time, grazed the iceberg's side. The iceberg's true size was hidden beneath the water, a silent giant that sealed the ship's fate. Panic spread among the passengers as the reality of the situation set in. Lifeboats were hastily lowered, but there were not enough for everyone. As the Titanic began to break apart, the true scale of the disaster became evident. Section 6. Chaos and Courage. The Titanic's final hours. The impact felt minor at first, but deep below the waterline, the iceberg had ripped a fatal gash in the Titanic's hull. Water poured in, flooding the forward compartments. The ship began to list, slowly at first, then more dramatically. Panic spread through the decks as the gravity of the situation became clear. The order was given, women and children first. Lifeboats were lowered, but there were not enough for everyone. Acts of heroism and self-sacrifice unfolded amidst the chaos. The band played on, their music a haunting soundtrack to the unfolding tragedy. Captain Smith and his crew worked frantically, sending distress signals into the night. Passengers prayed and comforted each other in their final moments. Section 7. Rescue at Sea. The Carpathia's arrival. Hours after the Titanic struck the iceberg, her lights flickered and died. The once mighty ship, now broken in two, slipped beneath the waves. Over 1,500 people were left struggling in the icy waters. The cries of the dying echoed across the empty ocean. In the distance, a glimmer of hope. The RMS Carpathia, responding to the Titanic's distress calls, arrived on the scene. She moved slowly among the debris field, picking up survivors from the lifeboats. The crew of the Carpathia worked tirelessly, pulling the freezing and exhausted survivors aboard. Blankets and warm drinks were distributed as the survivors huddled together, grateful to be alive. With the last of the survivors safely aboard, the Carpathia sailed away from the tragic scene, carrying the hopes and stories of those who lived through the night. Section 8. Remembering the lost legacy of the Titanic. The sinking of the Titanic sent shockwaves around the world. Newspapers were filled with stories of the disaster. People mourned the loss of life, the shattered dreams, the sheer scale of the tragedy. The world learned the names of heroes: Captain Smith, who went down with his ship, the band, who played until the very end, countless others who put the lives of others before their own. The wreck of the Titanic, lost for decades, was eventually discovered in 1985. It serves as a haunting reminder of that fateful night. Today, museums around the world preserve artifacts from the Titanic, keeping its memory alive. The story of the Titanic continues to captivate and inspire countless books, films, and documentaries. Memorials and services are held to honor the victims, ensuring they are never forgotten. Section 9. Safer Seas. Lessons learned. The sinking of the Titanic led to significant changes in maritime safety regulations. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, or SOLAS, was established. New rules were implemented requiring ships to carry enough lifeboats for all passengers and crew. Improved communication protocols were adopted. The importance of heeding ice warnings was forever etched in maritime history. The Titanic may be gone, but her story continues to resonate. She reminds us of the fragility of life, the power of nature, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Modern ships are now equipped with advanced safety features, and regular safety drills are conducted. Continuous training ensures that crew members are prepared for any emergency. International collaboration remains key to maintaining and improving maritime safety standards.